Victoria really goes to town, doesn't she? She is absolutely fixated on ending Bella's life.
Her lover was killed by Edward, and she wants to make Edward suffer by killing Bella.
Victoria is scorned and feels like she needs to inflict on Edward and Bella what she had to go through.
With James, it was a game, you know, it was a hunt. Whereas in this film, it's vengeance, bloodlust, and anger, and violence. I think that's scarier than anything.
Victoria is delicious to write for because she is so evil and just so completely dead set on what she wants and on what's, you know, her revenge and her passion for that.
Victoria's an interesting character because she's not a particularly verbal character. She isn't someone who, if she's upset with you, she's going to come up and punch you in the face. Not at all. She's somebody who works behind the scenes. She's always careful not to put herself in danger as much as she can help it.
Because her instincts are always to evade. That's her strongest gift, is her gift of evasion.
She is an amazing escape artist. Can't be caught. Always appearing out of nowhere. Always disappearing into nowhere. The Victoria of Eclipse is a different Victoria to Twilight and New Moon. This Victoria is much more a vocal manipulator. She really uses her voice. She's a much quieter seductress.
She's very seductive and she's very intense, but she has this kind of like, in her manipulation, you can hear that she's also sort of like this little girl, and it's kind of terrifying.
She is not a predator so much. She's not the aggressor. She's the manipulator. She's a master manipulator, and she does it by being this helpless little, you know, but what about us?
There's something a little unhinged about her. When you hear her speak, you can really kind of tell that there's something not totally right with the way that she is.
Don't let him do this to us, Riley.
Bryce is great. You know, the first night that we saw her shoot, she came up and she said, I've been doing something with the voice, because this is the first time Victoria actually speaks in the novels, is in the very end of Eclipse. She says, and you describe it as being like this kind of little girl's voice. It's a little high. She says, I want to do something with that. And I said, that's wonderful. I think that's great. And she worked into the scene, and you can just see that this is Victoria.
She's great. She's such a sweet girl and can suddenly turn into this ferocious devil.
Oh, look, Bryce is just like Victoria, you know. She's incredibly manipulative. She's got me wrapped around her little finger.
Victoria has a very strong army behind her in this one.
She's gone in a very, very clever and very roundabout way of creating this army to the point where her soldiers don't even know who she is.
She's been getting an army together of newborn vampires to basically kill off Bella and Edward as vengeance once and for all.
A newborn army is kind of made up of recently turned human into vampires.
It's roughly the first 1 to 3 months where they are still instilled with the traits of both, so they're crazed.
Newborns are the strongest in their first year of life and make for very good, strong, disposable soldiers.
They're uncontrollable and they're unpredictable.
Ravenous, crazy vampires. Instinctual. Vicious and crazy and wild.
Insatiable thirst.
The newborns are stronger, faster. They sort of operate purely just on instinct.
And you basically just want to kill. So that's really useful if you're building an army.
Victoria's plan is actually quite brilliant. She got Riley to do this because obviously Alice would never recognize him, and therefore she would never be able to identify the fact that this is Victoria.